uplifted.
Hang on, sound on.
Sound on.
Yeah.
Testing, rolling.
Hang on. ISO, auto.
ISO, auto.
White balance, auto. Sound.
Recording.
Action.
Action. All right. Thank you, Lawrence, for your loving input behind the camera. Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to a Chelsea versus nobody match preview. It's the international break. That was a dreadful introduction, but nonetheless, we are here with another video off of the back of England 7, Montenegro 0. A convincing win for England at Wembley, their 1000th game. Harry Kane scored a hat-trick, but the player that we're going to talk about for the majority of this video isn't the man who scored a hat-trick, it was the man who got a hat-trick of assists. It's Ben Chilwell. It's somebody who we've discussed a little bit on this YouTube channel, and on the 20th of November, Chelsea will find out whether or not their transfer ban will be uplifted in January. So just before that game against Man City next week, we will know if we can sign players in January. Now, Ben Chilwell last night had a very good game for England. He got 3 assists. He looked very dangerous going forward. I decided to go to 2 different mediums. I went to the YouTube community page, which if you don't know, it's basically where I post stuff that isn't really videos. I do polls, I do like little update posts to let you guys know about videos, and also Twitter. And if you don't follow me on there, it's just at Mr. George Benson. I also try and get involved with the Chelsea community on Twitter as much as I can, so links to that in the description. But we're going to go and take a little look at the polls. So we're talking about signing a left back. We're going to say hypothetically the transfer ban gets uplifted, January comes along, Chelsea got some deep pockets, who do we want to buy? But the left back poll, it's got 2,000 votes, which isn't that many compared to the YouTube one. 73% say Ben Chilwell, 8% say Alex Sandro, 13% say Alex Telles, and 6% say Tagliafico. So obviously we've got to remember that the majority of people that watch these videos are from the UK, which by the way, if you're not yet subscribed to the George Benson Football channel, make sure you do so. I say this quite often, but there's still 50% of people that watch that aren't subscribed, so hit the button and hit the bell notifications while you're at it. But that was what Twitter said. Alex Telles was second, but Ben Chilwell is right at the top of that list for Chelsea fans at the moment, according to Twitter. And obviously last night's performance for England is probably a big reason as to why that percentage is so high. We move over to the YouTube community page, it gets even more convincing in favour of Ben Chilwell. 77% say Chilwell, 8% say Sandro, 5% Tagliafico, and 10% Alex Telles. So it's pretty much the same across both, but there were 4,500 views, or votes should I say, on the community page poll. I then go into the comments, the responses to that post on the YouTube community page. We got a few of you guys saying to me, Emerson, question mark, as if to say, well, have we forgotten that we've actually got a really good left back at the club already? And yes, we do. The only problem is, I do feel as though, despite the quality in the Chelsea team right now, one of the positions that we definitely could strengthen in terms of an upgrade would probably be the left back position. Emerson is very good. Alonso's decent when he's playing in a wing back role, but he has those days where we all just put our head in our hands and just wonder what the hell is going on. So according to Charles Tino Tender, I'd say Alex Telles because he is the only fit the 2 criterias of top player and happy to be a backup, which again is actually something really important. If we're looking to bring somebody in to challenge Emerson a bit more in terms of quality players to come into the left back position, Ben Chilwell's probably not going to give up his spot at Leicester right now where, you know, they're challenging for the top 4. You could argue that they're in the title race as well. If you haven't seen that video yet, you should go and check it out after this one. So is Ben Chilwell going to want to come in and play second fiddle to Emerson? I think off the balance of what I've understood from Chilwell as a player, from the highlights that I've seen, from the evident qualities he has, and the link up, the English link up that we're going to talk about in a moment, I do think Chilwell, if we did sign him, would come straight in as the number 1 choice. I'm not going to disrespect Leicester. Right now, if I was playing for Leicester and another top club in the Premier League come knocking, I would really have to consider whether I really want to leave, because I think Leicester are going places, particularly if you're Ben Chilwell, you're guaranteed to start a left back every single game. Likelihood is they're probably going to get Champions League football this season. So right now, would you even want to leave Leicester? But I understand the point that's being made here that Alex Telles as an option could actually be somebody who is happy to be balanced with Emerson in that left back role. Let's put faith in Emerson and get a backup quality guy who can push Emerson for the position, but at the same time be content as a bench player? That's what I think. Well, Charles, that is a pretty well-rounded response to this little poll. We've also got Velkio Jovanovic saying Tagliafico isn't a bad option. Telles is an outrageous fullback, and like Alaba, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Kimmich, he could rotate and play in the midfield. Again, this is something very interesting with Chelsea's fullbacks right now. We've got Reece James, who can play as a right back and has also been tipped to play in a central defensive midfield position or in the midfield for Chelsea, potentially in the pivot. You've also then got Azpilicueta, who could move over to the left, and if we're using Reece James as a midfielder, Azpilicueta, we also know, is an option at right back. So in terms of needing to invest in players across the pitch, if we can buy somebody who yet again can fulfill that role of filling in as a CDM and also as a left back, Chelsea could really be doing a great bit of business by buying one fullback who could enable other fullbacks we've already got at the club to move into different covering positions. Banana Pishang says what we already knew, Chilwell with the 3 assists for England. Thanks for clarifying that one, mate. We've also got another man called Charles saying, man, George, your channel is growing fast. It's almost as good as the bright start Chelsea is having. Well, that is actually a pretty nice comparison. So Charles, I thank you for your kind words. Having looked at what you guys have got to say, I'm scrolling down the comments again now. The majority of people, when we're talking about Ben Chilwell, are slightly put off by the price tag. Now, the price tag is something we cannot ignore. If Chelsea's transfer ban does get upheld, I do believe that we will probably try and sign players in January. But as I've said countless times here on the YouTube channel, January is a time where particularly top 4 Champions League challenging rivals, they can just say, you know what, Chelsea, we know how much money you've got, we know you can afford this, so here's an extra 25 million upon the valuation of this player and probably the market value. So when Leicester are selling to Chelsea, Chelsea have got to expect that Ben Chilwell is never going to come cheap. It's probably going to be like a 70, maybe even 80 million pound signing for Ben Chilwell, which, quite frankly, despite his great performance yesterday for England, let's not let that cloud the judgment too much. It's an astronomical sum of money, and it's certainly something that I wouldn't put past Leicester to try and charge Chelsea for it. So in terms of whether or not it's desperate right now, we've got to remember that, Emerson's played very well for the club since he's actually come in and taken over from Alonso's position. Let's give the man some credit. I don't think there's an immediate rush to go out and sign Ben Chilwell. I think maybe if we wait till the summer, see what happens with Leicester this season. Again, if they miss out on the top 4, it's probably a case of saying, you know what, we don't mind letting you go because we gave it the best shot, didn't quite happen, and we won't stand in your way to go and play for Frank Lampard at Chelsea, back playing Champions League football. Of course, this is all dependent on whether or not Chelsea get Champions League football, but as I've said countless times recently, you look at the competition, we'll probably get it at this point. So again, if we bring it back to what we saw last night for England, we can't ignore that very special goal where Ben Chilwell passes it to Jadon Sancho, a man that we're going to bring up again in this video, who then crosses it in for Tammy Abraham, a man who supposedly was just an average or pretty good championship striker. He won't do it in the Prem, he won't get an England call-up. He's now got an England call-up, and he's now got 12 goals in all competitions this season. He wrapped up what was a brilliant night for England last night, sealing qualification for Euro 2020 in England's 1000th international game. Tammy Abraham finishes it off, and I put it on Twitter last night, Ben Chilwell to Jadon Sancho to Tammy Abraham. It's something that could potentially happen. Now, Man United fans think they've already got Sancho's signature. A lot of fans of other Premier League clubs think that Chelsea have got no chance in signing Jadon Sancho. I made a video on this a couple of months ago, and I said that I would fully endorse the move for Sancho. I think that for being realistic, watching his performance last night and his current form for Dortmund, the man isn't in his best form at this current stage. But the whole thing about whether or not he wants to leave Dortmund is probably affecting his form. There's probably conversations going on behind the scenes where Jadon Sancho knows that he is very high in demand right now in the Premier League, and if any Premier League club comes knocking, it's definitely something Sancho's going to want to buy into. Just look at the way he's playing for England, look at the way he's contributing for England. Despite the performance not being the best last night from him, I certainly feel as though he's one of the first names that Gareth Southgate is thinking about right now to stick on the wing for a very successful potential England side. So would Jadon Sancho want to play for Chelsea, and would Ben Chilwell want to play for Chelsea and recreate that little trio of assists and goals that we saw last night? Chilwell to Sancho to Tammy Abraham. Do I think it could happen? If we go to Jadon Sancho and we go to the next poll that we've done, I asked Twitter yet again, and also YouTube, we'll start with YouTube, 3.4 thousand votes. Jadon Sancho for 130 million, that's kind of the ballpark figure people are talking about. Hakim Ziyech for less than half that price at 60 million. And then Wilfried Zaha, for what Palace is saying, is around 80 million. Only 3% of the 3.4 thousand people that have voted within 4 hours have said Wilfried Zaha. So that one we're just going to ignore for now. I, for one, don't want Wilfried Zaha at Chelsea. Hakim Ziyech, for the price, 31% of people said that. But Jadon Sancho, that England link, 66% of people. And I think a lot of it is probably down to what we saw last night. There might be an element of bias within the decision there because of that. But according to the comments, yet again, people are getting very excited about Hakim Ziyech and that left foot. I said it during my Chelsea-Ajax match vlog, which, by the way, 100,000 views. Thank you for that. That's absolutely incredible. Ziyech's left boot and price tag do it for me. If we aren't in for Mbappe, which we might talk about that for a second, but I do think it's a little bit unrealistic, Ziyech has my vote. I'm okay with Sancho, just don't like the idea of smashing our record transfer fee for him on his current form. Now here's the thing, his current form isn't the best, but we all know about the star quality and potential that Jadon Sancho has. He's been doing extremely well for Dortmund, and there's reasons why. Clubs like Chelsea, I've heard that Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, they're keeping an eye on Jadon Sancho for a reason. As an English Chelsea fan, I know that some people are saying it's just bias, you only want English players and all that stuff. When things are going so well in the England setup under Gareth Southgate, and you see these players playing together right now at Chelsea, you've got Mount, you've got Tomori, you've got Tammy, you've got Callum Hudson-Odoi, you've got Ruben to come back into things, Reece James. There's an abundance of English talent already, and in terms of being an attraction, to get players like Ben Chilwell, to get players like Jadon Sancho, this connection that these potential signings will have with their international teammates is a massive reason why Jadon Sancho might end up choosing Chelsea over a competitor that's looking for his signature. And the fact that he's really good friends with particularly Tammy and Callum is an absolutely huge thing moving forward. And if Chelsea are going to go in the market for Sancho, we know we're going to have to break the bank for him. It's not as if we've not made a bit of cash with the transfer ban, the sale of Eden Hazard and Alvaro Morata. And if we're going to buy a player, I don't want to buy a name who's such a big name that it's going to really affect the dressing room morale that we've got going on right now, which in some eyes from some people overestimated how important it is. But I personally don't think this whole great vibe thing that we talk about right now is something that can be overestimated. I think it's a massive reason for the form. I think it's a massive pull for players that are currently playing for clubs that don't play for Chelsea. I think it's a massive pull for some of these players to actually want to play for Chelsea. And someone mentioned Kylian Mbappe. I will talk about that because I think in terms of comparing someone like Sancho to someone like Mbappe, I think Mbappe's already on a level above. He might want to leave Paris Saint-Germain because the guy's probably got some huge aspirations in world football to play for one of the biggest clubs. Yeah, PSG are one of the biggest clubs, but in terms of a competitive league, Mbappe probably is tempted by a move to the Premier League. Could Chelsea afford him? I mean, I don't know what kind of money Mbappe's going to be going for. If you look at the star quality, the world-class talent he's already got, his age, PSG's reluctance to sell and likelihood of probably selling Neymar as well. PSG want to win everything. They basically want to buy every trophy in world football. So do you really think they're going to sell Neymar back to Barcelona and then accept anything less than like 400, 500 million pounds, which is just like a mind-boggling fee to think about on a Friday night? Mbappe is an unrealistic signing, I think. Despite Chelsea's pockets, I don't think it's something that we'll be looking to do. So yeah, to wrap up this video, I kind of don't want to keep addressing this Sancho thing until anything more concrete comes of it. I think that we should look into more transfer options after the decision is made about the transfer ban. Maybe Chelsea can buy these players in January. I want this to be a conversation with you in the comments. Let me know what you think. We can discuss this one all weekend. We've got until next week. The international break will be over after Ben Chilwell's brilliant performance and Jadon Sancho's performance as well to set up Tammy. It is something that I've got to say I would be extremely excited to see both of these players in a Chelsea shirt come August next year at the latest. So I think it's definitely a case of there's going to be offers coming in for both of those players. Whether Chelsea will be in the market for them or not, I think they will be. Let me know whether you would like to see it in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching this video today. Thought I'd address the England performance last night, and if it wasn't those three combining for Tammy's goal, I don't even think I'd have made this video. But I'm buzzing the same way England fans are and the same way Chelsea fans are at the prospect of seeing Chilwell and Sancho at our club. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the George Benson Football channel if you haven't already, and I will catch you all later. Goodbye.